All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Michael Dean, and you are watching What Did Prince Do This Week, week 10. And let me just say
Oh,
right off the gate, D'Angela is not going to be with us today. She is, I believe, in LA, which we'll get into that. And also, I'm going to apologize up front. My voice, I'm a little congested. We're still trying to get over, the things that we're trying to get over with. But with that said, I do have a special guest that's going to be joining me today, Mr. Big Sexy Sir. How are you?
uh, I
Yeah.
had too much last night.
Oh, you had to,
I
oh,
had
we're
too
gonna
much
blame it
last.
on the alcohol.
Yes, I'm blaming it on the alcohol.
Well, listen, we're about to get things started. We're gonna jump into the chat in here in a second, but let's get our music going and let's go. Yeah, let's do a little roll call.
Oh, cool.
All right, all right. Good morning, Christina. And as we get one, get my drink as we get going. Good morning, good morning. Stone Freak, what's up? Raywin, Tanja, good morning. Oh, Drew, what's going on? Big Sexy in the house. Arlena, good morning. And oh, hold on for a second. Big Sexy, isn't it
Yeah.
like an anniversary for you?
Here you go, man. Here you go.
Hold up the show. Stop the show for a second. We don't get one of these. Is this okay that we do this?
Oh, you already did it, man.
Well, we want to say happy birthday to Big Sexy. Happy birthday, sir. Is it okay to reveal your seasoned
Yeah.
wisdom
Yeah. Go ahead and
age?
do it, man.
So, man, we want to say happy birthday to Big Sexy, the big 60,
Oh,
60 years strong. So what's
that was
man? What
rough.
you about? Nah, man. Give us some 60 years of wisdom real quick.
The wisdom was not in abundance last night. I'll tell you that. Oh,
Man. Well, you know what? We're gonna keep it going, and we're gonna keep our all of the hellos and stuff. But we got a special uh birthday performance for you to
oh,
help celebrate for you. Yeah, man. So special. I'm gonna come back to the comments. We got a special birthday performance just for Big Sexy. Make sure this works. We jump on over here. All right, you ready, sir?
rip.
Hopefully, we don't get in too much trouble. Uh, oh.
さあ皆さんご一緒に One, two, three, four, down Music Steps Lamar
It's for you, Big Sexy.
Music Steps Lamar 1, 2
Yeah. You don't sit down with that buckwheat wig on.
Everybody
Get him.
get on the floor What can you count him for? Gotta use my way to lose What you find name for? Everybody get on the beat So you make the hungry scream
Lord.
People everywhere Losing on your hair Sing along with me Are you ready? Alright Sex, love
Lord. Salute to the Paisley brothers. Osaka doing it big. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
they are in the pocket, man.
But
Oh
man,
man, they
happy
were having
birthday.
a good time too.
Lord, no, they doing their thing, man. There's a whole set on YouTube. I mean, they're doing like endorphin machine and
Yes.
gold. But man, but anyway, man, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you,
We
everyone. Thank you.
appreciate you. Oh man, so let's get back. We want to get back to the celebration here real quick. All right, happy birthday, big sexy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna show some of these on the screen. And let me do a little thing here behind the scenes. Give me 1 second so we can get back on focus. I know D'Angelo like these niggas. You just have a little fun. That's all. Just a little bit. All right, hold on 1 second. All right. Well, here's what we officially are doing.
Get to work now.
Yeah, let's get to work. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled jams. There we go. Nice and mellow. But yes. We're celebrating Big Sexy as well. But I gotta say, man, you making 60 look like it's not that, you know. Because back in the day, you used to think 60 was like, you know, you in a bed or something. You know, you can...
Yeah, 60 that was it.
Yeah, man. So, all right. Yeah, yes. Good morning, everyone. Yes, D'Angelo is on the West Coast. She on our side today. Matter of fact. Big Sexy.
Oh, she's doing the thinking of, all right.
I think it's like the PopCon.
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to keep up with these comments. A lot of happy birthday celebrations for you. Really appreciate you, sir.
Everyone, thank you very much. You know, thank you very much.
And of course, you are watching What Did Prince Do This Week? This is week 10. We're covering 1984. And as it says, it's a very slow read of Dwayne Tudor's Prince Studio Sessions book series through an interactive weekly online book club. This is the book right here. You got you throw your book up now. Throw your book up. So you don't have to have the book, but it certainly will come in handy if you want to follow along with us week to week in what we do here. Because we are going week to week, Sunday to Saturday, 1984, not day to day. Of course, you can follow along with this QR code and get plugged in, tapped in, as we like to say, for the schedule. You don't need the expanded edition, but the schedule is based on it. And also, these shows are archived here on youtube.com/@polished solid. And of course, on Minds as well, @MDean. We got our own hashtag WDPDTW. And also, you can hit us up on that email. And of course, the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with What Did Prince Do This Week book club series, nor has it endorsed or sponsored this show. In other words, we on our own over here.
Only independent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we love it. And we were just listening to, how do you say, is it Andorra? The track from Times Squared by the great Eric Leeds. This was composed by Eric Leeds, Prince, Levi Caesar Jr., and Sheila E. Man, just to go back real quick, that performance by the Paisley brothers? They do. They start out doing Sexy MF, which is hysterical. But the guitar player, I mean, the thing is, the band was jamming, but the guitar player, I was calling him Levi Kawasaki. That may not.
Oh Lord.
I was dying last night. I was like, man, it'd be like if you was like in Japan or some, you know, and you was like drunk, you like walked into some club and then they was playing. You were like, what? Like,
let me pop on in here.
Yeah, like is this what this is going down like that? Oh, all right. So we're at week 10, which is number 6, episode 61, which is, man, been doing these for a while. This week, there's been one song and 4 studio visits total. I feel like there was more than one song that we're going to talk about
That's
today,
all? Just the one?
Well, When Doves Cry definitely is being worked on pretty heavy. As you can see here from the calendar, starting on Sunday, When Doves Cry. Monday, When Doves Cry. Uh, Wednesday, When Doves Cry. Friday, Paisley Park, the instrumental version, which we'll talk about. And then you see the Ice Cream Castles, which is the video for that. Yeah, I do hear a cat. Is that you?
Yeah, he wants to go outside, and I ain't getting up, so fuck him.
Well, damn. Excuse me. Yeah, I hear the kitty cat there myself. But all right, man. Let's get into things here. When Doves Cry, sir. Are you available? Do you want to do any reading?
We're starting at
This is a book
289.
club, man.
We're at
What's that?
289, right?
Well, I tell you what, we're gonna go to. I feel like I'm a preacher. We're gonna go to the good book, and we're actually gonna go to page. Hold on one second. 290,
290.
which is Wednesday,
Wednesday, March 28th,
March 7th.
1984.
March 7th. Yep.
March 7th.
Are you on page 290?
Well, I'm on page 290.
When Doves Cry?
I got
Or you might have
83 or 84.
84.
Yeah. Wednesday,
Okay.
March 28th, 84 is what I got on page 290.
Okay. What song is it on yours?
I'm looking at Sheila E. stuff. They're
Okay.
doing Glamorous Lives.
Yeah. Nope. Totally different. So I'm going to read it. We're on page 290, Wednesday, 7th, 1984. Yeah, you may have a different edition, but that's all right.
Back here.
You got the
I have the original flavor version in my hand.
you got the new translation. That's
Shit.
all right. Well, I want to read this. Here we go. When Doves Cry, God, love themes. Okay, so and this is a quote from Albert Magnolia. It was written as I was editing the movie. I realized.
I found it. I found it.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll go ahead and read it. It was written. I was editing the movie. I realized there was an opportunity for a song. I needed to get Prince from one place to another. It wasn't scripted that there would be a song there, but as I was cutting, I realized I needed a song. Prince and Albert Magnolia had been collaborating very well together, trusting each other's strengths. It was rare that Prince allowed someone to work with him so closely, but as Magnolia explains it, the fact that he was performing a task that Prince couldn't do made it necessary. The way we worked is I said, "This is what I need," and then he supplied the music. He never questioned my need, and I never questioned the music that was sent. And that was just the way we worked because he knew that I was in charge of my division. He was in charge of his. Now, obviously, if I'm getting music from Prince, even at that stage, I know that it's going to be kinky, niche, and erotic. Magnolia placed a call to Prince explaining what he was looking for in a song and was invited to meet at the home Prince was renting in Beverly Hills. Prince wanted to audition 2 tracks, When Doves Cry and the instrumental God. In those days with Prince, remembers Magnolia, it was, excuse me, it was you sitting on the floor with the machine. And so I listened to the 2 songs and I said, I like that one. What's that called? And he said, When Doves Cry. And I said, great. A single C60 tape was made of When Doves Cry for placement in the film, Magnolia says. I went back to the editing room that very day and I spent the day cutting the whole sequence together. I think I did it in about 4 hours. Once it was cut into the movie, Magnolia received a call from the film's producer, Bob Cavallo. The director explained to Cavallo that When Doves Cry was already in the movie and that it worked well. Cavallo responded with his doubts about the track, Magnolia remembers. I'll read a little bit of what he says. Cavallo goes, okay, so let's talk about this song for a minute. I heard the song. and you understand there's no bass line. You have to put a bass line on it. And I realized, oh yeah, there's no bass. It's just the drum and the groove. And so he goes, I'm going to call Prince right now and tell him that he needs to add a bass to it. And I go, okay, that's your fight. 20 minutes later, Prince calls me up and goes, you talked to Cavallo? I go, yeah. And he said, Cavallo told me it's already in the movie and he's asking me for a bass line. What do you think? And I said, I think the music works well. The image goes with it like you can't believe. So that's up to you. He said, I'm not going to do it. Both of us were too young to be in charge, right? Laughs Magnoli. That's the beauty of it. Why is anybody listening to either one of us? The raw urgency of the track fit perfectly in the movie as well on the soundtrack album. The song not only blended with the music he'd already recorded, it elevated the rest of the album, shining a light on Prince as an innovator of sound. It says a fresh 2-inch tape was purchased, but no new music was created. It is likely that it was purchased while visiting, or excuse me, while waiting for the meeting with Magnolia. Interesting. It's like it's so funny because when I think about that song back then, I just had I never even thought about the bass at all until people started talking about it later. Um, but of course, it is implanted in my mind the visual montage in that movie and the song "When Doves Cry." Like it's almost hard to even separate them in my mind when I think about that. What are some of your thoughts on this?
Though, listening to you read that quote from Prince, I'm just picturing him sitting in Billy's office. You talking about Cavallo? Yeah. Well, told me it was already in the movie, and so on and so forth. So I'm just picturing it through that visual. And I remember when I first heard the song, I didn't realize there was no bass line. God, I just remember the opening guitar was really standing out more than anything else. And then when the video hit, I remember that hat with the little lace on the thingy. I'm like,
Right.
I gotta have that hat. And then later on, I got around more musician types like, dude, there's no bass in this. Like, there isn't. Oh shit, there isn't. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't missed. I mean, I'm sure the label people heard it and were like, where's the bass? I was listening to Morris Day yesterday on Questlove Supreme. He's all, where's the bass? But Prince was right. I didn't need it.
Yeah. Marcus says, guys who are not caliber, excuse me, guys who are not of the caliber of Prince as an artist being instructed to remove the bass line. Weird.
He's right.
Of course. Yeah. But on one hand, too, it's such a big project like that. I guess it is his job, I suppose, as a producer to say something, whether or not he's right or not. I guess somebody's got to say something, I suppose. The question is, yeah, you're going to tell Prince that, but I guess that's his job too. Somebody's got to be able to tell him. You sure about that? But of course, he was sure. What I was going to mention. Thinking about Purple Rain, the movie. Something I just saw yesterday for the first time, and maybe you guys have seen it before on YouTube, for instance. There is a video of, I think it's taken from a work print or something of the movie that has some of the scenes from the movie that are, even if it's just a little glimpse, a little longer, but they're longer takes of some of these scenes from the movie that I've never seen before, which makes me wonder, are there, does some of that uncut stuff exist? I'll try and see if I can add it to the playlist later here that we
it
have.
Probably does exist, yeah, but it probably isn't processed like the finished product.
For sure, yeah. And you can see this was taken off of a VHS tape, for instance, to what I was looking at, and it doesn't have, doesn't have any of the music score or anything either on this. So I don't know if this was maybe like a version that Prince may have had that he used to add things to or whatever. But I know the part that I looked at uh, was Apollonia at that mall when she first meets Prince.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and there's a few little things that aren't in the movie that are in there, and then it goes on to Lake Minnetonka. And I didn't watch it past that because I wanted to really sit back and analyze it later. But I was kind of surprised. I'm like, wow, this just been sitting on YouTube. I was like, interesting. And there's little scenes or little just in between parts that were edited out of the movie that obviously exist that people have. So I wonder if some of those other scenes, like the barn scene and things, do they exist somewhere? It hasn't all been destroyed. So definitely check that out if you want to see that. I think that's very
Are
interesting.
are these some of the same like little scenes or clips of scenes that are in the "Let's Go Crazy" video?
Well, I mean, it was just basically stuff from the movie. So it was like Billy and Morris walking down the street. That whole scene. Are you in the business? Oh, da da da. Just little things that were said that were cut out or whatever. So it's just interesting. Is it gonna change the world? No, but I mean, for like a completist or like big fans like us, it's definitely cool to see. And after been so many years, finally seeing stuff like that, I think is very interesting. We will get the link and put it in the playlist. Love Sexy. See you in the comments. But yeah, it's out there. It's definitely out there on YouTube. All right. So When Doves Cry, as we've seen, he's been working on this song for a few days, and you kind of really get the understanding of the importance. Obviously, he knew that this song was going to be something special. I love how he's just able to pump out these songs and they're incorporated in the movie and they become iconic, man. It's just mind boggling. Um,
And this was all at Sunset Sound, correct?
that is correct. Absolutely. I'm going to read just the last little part on this piece here. It says, once a rough cut of the movie was pieced together, Prince had a private screening at his Los Angeles home and invited many of the people who were involved in the film. There was a lot there was a whole different cut of the movie that he played for us, recalls Time bassist Jerry Hubbard. And I was thrilled to death because he had me all up in the movie and he had the time in there more. After the movie premiered, Hubbard got a chance to ask about the final product. I went up to Prince and I said, "Hey Prince, what happened in the movie, man? There was a lot of stuff missing. The movie at your house was like 3 hours long, and I'll never forget it." He looked at me and he says, "Well, we had to cut something out. You don't think we were going to you didn't think we were going to cut me out, did you?"
All
Well,
right.
I guess. See, listen, this man said it was almost a 3 hour version. Man, come on, we need to see that. I don't even care if it's like, I don't care if it's not pristine super quality, but it just be interesting to see. Like, wow.
So this is like the Zack Snyder version of Purple Rain
Right there, you
talking
go.
about.
The Prince Snyder cut of Purple Rain. Man, that's it. So yeah, he had a private screening at his house. Showed everybody the movie. I was like, okay. And you get to the theater, like you got brown marked. Like he's got like one line or something, or no lines. Like, damn.
You get to stand and look at your watch. That's it.
It was like the Purple Rain. This is the Purple Rain. I'm the only star in this town edition. Cut. Like, I don't know, sir. But man, I love it. Oh, we got Seeley in here. He says, "Good morning, brothers. I am just sticking my head into the chat to say hello while I wait for the Jackson State ladies basketball game to start." All right.
All right. All right.
Well, I appreciate you stopping through, sir. Um, all right. So there's another song that we're gonna talk about, and being that this song is unreleased, I'm kind of feeling like it might be okay to sample it a little bit
Do it.
so that we can get some, put it in another context. So we're going to talk about the song that is called Paisley Park instrumental. As you will see, it is not the Paisley Park song that we all know and love, but we'll play a little bit and then we'll talk about it. And as it's warming up, this would be for Friday, March 9th, 1984. So imagine you're in Sunset Studio, 1:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m., and Prince is cutting. This would have been a nice B-side. All right, all right, all right. I love that. Boom, 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 boom.
I have to admit, when I saw that in the book at Paisley Park, and before I heard this, obviously, I'm sitting there thinking, so let me get this right. He is on the 8th, working on When Doves Cry, and on the 9th, working on Paisley Park. I'm thinking, Paisley Park. I'm like, he was that far ahead? He's already working on stuff for the next album during the preparation sessions? Wow. That's heavy.
Well, with that said, sir, do you want to read a little bit of
I will take a little piece here.
Right.
Okay. Oh, wait. Lost my page here. March 9th. Yes.
All right.
Paisley Park. And there's a quote from Peggy Mack, the engineer. You have to be really fast. He doesn't want to mess around. If you can't get it right, he wants to drop it. He says it's an omen and it's not happening. You lose the groove. 5 minutes to get a drum sound is pretty unique. Peggy Mack. This was the first time the phrase Paisley Park appeared in any Prince-related studio document, although it shares the name of the song. Song eventually released on his Around the World in the Day album. 30s in there. Agree. This track is unrelated instrumental that focuses on the groove created by live and bass and accented by some heavily reverbed keyboards and sounding like it was influenced by Gary Newman and Tom Tom Club's 1981 hit Genius of Love. I loved Gary Newman and I love Tom Tom Club. That's good. Overall production gives it a retro feeling that makes you feel very dated. I don't agree with that. Prince would revisit and update the beat of this song 2 years later on Bob George. Paisley Park instrumental also contains multiple reverb sound effects, including children playing in a park, laugh whistles. Prince would repeat this theme of children playing in a park when he recorded the version of Paisley Park that was released on the World in the Day, and as well as in the video. After presumably taking the previous day off from recording, he requested that Peggy Mack set up a session to start at 1:30 p.m. Sometimes he'd come in and there would be a mix-up on the board, and you would think, okay, I'm ready for this. And he'd tell you to put up some fresh tape because he wanted to record, she recalls. So he had to repatch the board from mix to live and EQ everything about 20 minutes to tear it all down and set everything back up, mic it all. And he would be playing the drums, and he would say, come on, Peggy, you're blowing the groove. You're losing me here. The pressure was incredible. Let me stop right there. Mike, can you explain to me, and I should know this, talks about going from live, where is it? Yeah, going from the mix to live and EQ everything. What does that mean in a recording sense.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Well, Peggy is quoted as saying he would go from mix on the board from mix to live, cue and re EQ everything. So if you're going to be mixing, I mean, I don't understand how it works, the process.
So going from mixed to live, I'm not exactly sure what she means in that connotation. Sometimes there
We
would
need
be
an
a
engineer.
mix up on the board. Say it again.
We need an engineer in here.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you would mix up on the board and you think, okay, maybe maybe it's like, everything is set up to a certain level,
For one thing, and he
something,
changes
and
his
then he
mind.
was to change it up and say, well, I want to use these sounds or this instrument or something and have to EQ it and mix it totally different. It's interesting because, I didn't know this back then, but Prince does all his songs will start and stop all in one day, right? So they're gonna
Oh, yeah.
recording them and mixing them when he walks out, which is not the norm at all. Um, so maybe that is a big thing where all of his EQing and all of the effects pretty much gotta be set in stone when he's recording, because that's how he wants it to sound exactly like that or something. Versus
So,
then sometimes people would add those things later.
so I'm picturing like he'll call Peggy like in this date, 1:30. All right, we're gonna do Paisley Park at 1:30. She's like, got it. So she's set up for the Paisley Park, all those sounds and all that. All the EQ was done. Then he walks in. You know what? We're gonna do, you know, Erotic City instead. What? So she has to put up new tape and readjust everything to that in 20 minutes.
That's possible too. Stone Freak also adds in, said to be real careful with the input sound because the slightest noise in the room would come out on the tape. So if you record live, it was totally different from doing the mix. Andrew jumps in and said, when you're mixing a song, you're mixing a song. But when you're recording, the EQs are fresh and set at a standard that will be tweaked during the mix.
Oh,
Absolutely
okay.
true as well. I think in today's digital age, it's easy to just switch between modes, mixing versus live recording, whereas back in the day, that switch meant repatching. And then we'll finish with Annie says live recording and mixing require different settings on the equipment. Um, but of course, with Prince, obviously he'll jump from one to the other at the drop, won't want to do it at drop of a hat. So you have to really sympathize with the engineers back then. Like they had to
Yes.
really be on point to keep up with what he's doing. Because what do you say, man? And then he's on you. He seemed like he on their neck the whole time. Like, yo, what do you say he was? Come on,
On the
Peggy, you
groove.
blowing the groove.
On the groove.
You losing me here now. I know he was on their neck. And then you imagine this is going on every day, all day. He working it like a lifestyle, nigga. Like he's recording heavy. So I mean, just imagine like, and he's doing, and the stuff he's coming up with is dope as fuck. Like it's like you don't want to mess that up.
No,
You know,
no.
that's a lot of pressure. Absolutely was. He said Vanessa said he was on that James Brown flex in the studio. You ain't lying.
Hey,
Say, he was on his Prince in the studio.
we kept the band, and the engineers the same way. Look, y'all got to keep up. If you can't keep up, you got to go. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
But and so one of those other a little something else here says the song is basically a synth workout with no solo, and it sounds as if Prince just wanted to lay down a track to see if it went anywhere. He recorded the drum, bass, and keyboards over the next 5 hours, and sound effects from the Sunset Sound library were used to help create the mood. Instead of strategically placing them, as on Pop Life 3 weeks earlier, he used them as a background bed for the entire Paisley Park track. After a quick mix, two C60 cassettes were made, and the brief session was over by 8:30. No additional information is known about anyone else participating in this recording. Prince would not record again at Sunset Sound until March 17th. So it is assumed that he either traveled back to Minneapolis or worked on additional scenes for the movie. Any recording he did during that time has not been documented. And so the status Paisley Park instrumental is 4 minutes and 6 seconds with sound effects 3 minutes and 44 without sound effects. Was briefly considered for placement on the Family album in 1985, but it remains unreleased to this day. Says, according to all available sources, the track is called Paisley Park, but for the purpose of clarity, it will be referred to here as Paisley Park Instrumental. Um, what I've this could be another contender for a special edition later, hopefully. But I was curious that they didn't put this song on the Paisley Park, reissue a few years ago when they put that out. I think this song sounds dope to me. It's it's a great something to play. Like he's jamming on the drums. To me, when I hear this, it just sounds of that sound to me of that era, I should say. And I think it's badass. Like, I mean, when I first heard this, I was like, where is this from? I was like, yo, this is boom, boom, you definitely jamming. And again, that it's all Prince, is amazing. So definitely check that one out. Any other last things you got on this Paisley Park instrumental?
No, I agree. I know we have the Purple Rain Deluxe. There are people speculating there's going to be a super deluxe of that, and if they do that, it's got to be in there. Got to put it in there because that's what he was recording at that at that window of time. That's part of the stuff that he was doing, so that should definitely come out.
All right.
Also, hold on. Also, for me, seeing Sunset Sound when I'm going to be in LA in May, I got to swing by there and take a look at it. That's holy grail for me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. When doves cry, God. I don't know if we really got. It doesn't really mention much of God in the text that we read, but it is there. Paisley Park instrumental. All right, so this last part here for this week. This is also Friday as well. So Prince is cutting this song to, he's doing Paisley Park. But what else is going on between Friday and Saturday? The music video for the Times Ice Cream Castles was taped. But outside of this, I'm reading from the book, but outside of this, Morris Day had little to do with the band anymore. At the time, there was still hope that everything would be worked out. But after the taping, direct communication between Day and Prince became almost non existent. Day had basically left Minneapolis behind and moved to Los Angeles, which didn't sit well with Prince. Although they were both in California, Prince and his management felt Day should have been in Minneapolis rehearsing with the time. It's a quote. This is Morris. The fact that I moved out here and took the initiative as a grown man to choose my own place of residence seemed to upset certain people, observed Day. That was the beginning of the end. Once the time returned to Minneapolis, Jesse Johnson continued to lead the band during the rehearsals, and Prince worked behind the scenes to get Day more involved, including making plans to get the time on stage again. Another quote. Prince was talking about doing a gig with us that never materialized, remembers Jerry Hubbard. We were going to do First Avenue, and we were all going. What are we going to do about Morris? He hasn't even rehearsed with us, but it never happened. So there you go.
If I may,
yes,
I may add to that. Again, I mentioned earlier, I was listening to the Morris Day interview on Questlove Supreme, and Quest asked him about this time. Morris did move to LA, but the thing was, there was talk of Morris wanting to do a solo album but staying in the band. And Prince was like, okay, fine, you can do a solo album, but I have to be the EP. I'm out. And then he came on out and did his thing and got his own, management team set up and left the group. But he was still resentful about how the whole Jimmy and Terry thing went down. He carried that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's the only thing I can at this point, I can understand the reasonings behind both brothers' decisions on what they wanted to do. I think at the end of the day, they did the best they could for each other in terms of what they had to do. Morris came out okay. Obviously, Prince came out great. I wish they would have been able to work it out, though. That would have obviously been awesome. But
Yes.
you live and learn. They were young. Probably would have been a lot different if they would have been older, more mature. Things could have been handled differently. But you know, only thing I just look at it is it's just a lesson learned for like anybody else coming up in the game with your partners, and it's starting to get to a point, without like being able to come together, without a lot of these middlemen and stuff. It can get hard to stay on the same plan because I'm sure there's a lot more people around all of them in their ears. You know what I'm saying? From where first, if you go back to the first album of the time, it's just Morris, Prince putting it down, doing their thing, to where they were now, years later. Obviously, it became a whole big thing, and it looks like their relationship just kind of went like
It
that,
fractured,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. They ain't the first. They're not the first for something like that to happen. So
No.
you know, what Steven say? Morris is 2 week notice for the next 2 weeks. Notice my ass. Yeah. Well, so and Morris came back with was
Oak tree.
Oak
Yes.
Tree
Oak tree.
doing the character, I believe. Yeah, he came back with hits now. Ain't gonna lie. But all right. Um, but what a great
Color of
time.
success. That's what it was.
Color
The
of
first
success.
album.
Color of
Color of
success.
success.
I'm
I
playing
play
to
the
win.
win. Yeah.
Morris E Day. I love it. All right, let's see what else we got here to get through. You say Vanessa, I love that Morris Day duet album. Now that we're here, just to talk about Morris real quick, and yeah. So Morris had the Color of Success album. What was all his albums, y'all?
Color of success.
It was
Daydreaming.
Daydreaming. Those are the ones that I purchased.
And I forgot the third one.
Then he had like the New Jack Swing one. Was it Guaranteed? I think it
Was that it?
was.
Was it guaranteed?
I think he had an album called Guaranteed. It was kind of like some New Jack. It
I
was
never
many
heard it.
years later. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Guaranteed. Yeah, I remember. Actually, I think I did buy that. That was like back when. Yeah. I used to go to Tower when you just go to Tower Records, and it was like anybody that was kind of affiliated just automatically buy it.
Oh yeah.
I was like listening to that. I was like, I was like, "Okay, go ahead and get your money, Morris. I don't know if it worked, but yeah. But the daydreaming though, that was what Fishnet had Fishnet on there. Love is a game. Those are two
Yep.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Yeah,
Was
those.
Don't Wait for Me on that too? Or was that on the first one?
I don't remember that one. I made one of the album cuts. But yeah, Morris, man, he's doing this thing. All right. All right. Let's see here. So anyway, to recap, it's been 26 songs total so far, 53 studio visits total. You know, here is the list of the songs. We're not gonna go through all of them.
The man
But
put in. Woo!
as we reiterate every week, there's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of output, a lot of great output, a lot of great artistry on display, a lot of dedication to craft going on. Multiple albums being worked on. Uh, this is a great example for anybody, musician, artist, whatever, of just what dedication, consistency looks like and what you can achieve, if you really put yourself into something. When people say I'm doing 100%, Prince was on 1,000 at all times. And this is a great illustration of that. All right, see some people. Oh, Christina, you have the guaranteed CD. Any favorites off of that? Did you really? Was that an album that you was playing back in the day like that? Like, oh, let me throw on some guaranteed. You know. Let me take a little shot of this coffee. I feel like I'm starting to lose it. Ah, you said Bernard Bell, Regina Bell's brother work. Oh, okay.
Okay,
And I
nice.
believe he work with. Why do I feel like he worked with Teddy? Or I could be wrong. I remember that name back in that time. Um, I could be mistaken. Brother, no. Yeah, one of my favorite day songs on my favorite day album. Okay, okay. Anyway, here is
There
where
it is.
Angela is at. This is the Pop Conference. It's from March 7th through the 9th. So it's going on right now. As you can see, Wendy and Lisa, George Clinton. I believe the Wendy and Lisa conversation thing was last night. I could have swore I saw some of that being streamed online. They were on stage doing a thing. Yeah, here you go. March 8th. Yeah, I guess that was yesterday at 7 p.m. In conversation with Smithsonian Museum curator specialist. I'm sorry, I can't read. Timothy Ann Burnside. But yeah, that was I guess that was yesterday evening. Oh, TP. Yes, he did work with Teddy. I remember the time. Okay, that's when I thought
Oh,
I
okay.
remember seeing his name. I don't know if there was there any remember the time style jams on Guaranteed. Let me know it's playing. Also celebrating the 20th anniversary of Musicology,
I
March
can't believe it's been 20
29th.
years.
I know, man.
Oh,
It just feel like it was like a few, not a few years ago, but not 20 years ago. Like
exactly.
it's crazy.
Oh,
So March 29th at Paisley Park, they're going to do an event, celebrate this historic album with a night of real music by real musicians. Excuse me, a musicology concert footage and DJ dance party. Man, I would love to go, but I ain't. But for those who are, man, have a great time, man. What a thing to do.
I'm going to steal that, Mike. I would love to go, but I ain't.
But man, 20 years of musicology. Yeah, that's an album that just talk about that for a second. Let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on this album?
On
Yeah.
musicology,
Mhm.
I'm really hesitant to use the phrase comeback, but
Mm,
it was like a new start. You know, the album was fantastic. It was really an homage to classic R&B from the 70s. You could
mm,
hear it in the title song. You know, he referenced Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm
mhm.
like, yeah. And then you get into a lot of the support cuts. My personal favorite is the slow jam.
Oh, one with Stokely in them.
Oh, this is driving me crazy. I'm embarrassed. All right, people in the chat, help me out. It's got the video for it.
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly what it is, but I'm just drawing a blank on the name at the particular set. Call my name. There we go.
Call my
Thank you,
name. Call
JJ.
my name is the cut.
Yeah,
Love that song.
yeah. This
You know,
album, this album came out after Rainbow Children. Is that right? Or before? I can't.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because this album was given away as part of your ticket package on that tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they were everywhere, and that was smart because it racked up a lot of sound scan numbers, and you know, he did very well on that. Reflection, love that song. Love
Mm-hmm.
Reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it all the way honest. When it first came out, and I want to make sure this was after uh, Rainbow Children, because I don't want to be. The older I get, the more I be
I keep forgetting.
forgetting stuff. uh, but I want to make sure Musicology. Y'all help me in the chat here quick.
Oh, my name.
But what I would say is that I loved it, but I thought it was going to be. Um, how do I say? I don't. To me, I thought the title Musicology. I thought it was going to be more of a concept album. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Um, and I thought he nailed it with the first song and the video. I was like, oh, he about to school us, which he did on this one. But I didn't think I thought the whole thing was going to carry through like sort of a. This is the musicology of the game. And maybe he kind of does do that in some ways, but at the time I just didn't like. I was like, this feels more like a collection of great songs, which it was. But the album has grown on me. There's like you, I have songs on there that I just love. Call My Name, Dear Mr. Man is probably my favorite on that album, which is I forget what James Brown song that is sort of based off of. Uh, I can't think of it right now, but I love that song, Mr. Man. Um, okay, so Rainbow Children was 2001, and this was yeah. So coming off of Rainbow Children, I mean, Rainbow Children was such a head buster to me that I was just like, what could he possibly do to follow that? And maybe he did the smart thing and went more. I feel this was more of a commercial album, and it perfectly works for that. So that was probably what kind of threw me at the times. I was like, man, he was going deep into the, he was on some high level professor work with Rainbow, and then he flipped it up and was like, let me go. I'm about to go do this tour thing and really turn the game upside down, which in a lot of ways, as you mentioned, Rainbow Children is really a test case and really just something to really understand like how clever and smart Prince was just from a marketing standpoint and a business standpoint. Like you said, how he did it with the ticket sales, you know, giving the album away. And then of course they changed the rules
Yep.
after that. They was like, no, no, no. They were like, no, no,
Doing
no.
that.
We're not gonna let them get away with this. But I love that Prince, like he was always like, yeah, he was a hustler, man. He was ahead of the game. Like, oh, this how they do it. Okay, watch this. So to me, that's the biggest for me. The big takeaway of the musicology was that man, this dude was about his business. He was about being an innovator and seeing how the rules were and be like, yeah, watch how I do this. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna flip it on them. They gonna have to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they don't want to have me. How do you get on the charts? Or how do you get? Okay, well, shit, I'll get a record away. How about that? So brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Really, like I say, it just goes to show like this dude's mind. He was on some other stuff, man. So yeah, love it, love it, love it. Um, this says, what do you say? Would you say Rainbow Children was a sequel to? I could see that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've argued before, like, uh, if you went from Love Sexy, and if in another world, if he just dropped out of the game for a while and came back with Rainbow Children, I would have felt like, that was a continuation. Like, well, he spent all these years to get this good. Like, because to me, I think Rainbow Children is one of his most classic musical albums. Like, it's on a higher tier of Prince. That's just my opinion. But anyway,
Would
what
you
do you think?
consider Rainbow Children from a creative standpoint? And I'm reaching here. along the lines of something like Sly Stone's "There's a Riot Going On" with that type of that high level creativity.
Well, yeah, I would. Absolutely. Um, musically, lyrically, concept. It's one of them albums that, you, like, I don't care if you're not with what I'm talking about. I'm going all in what I'm talking about. This is where I'm at.
This is where my
You
head
know?
is.
So that's why I mean, I love it for all of those reasons, but I just love that. To me, there was classic Prince of, you ain't up on this, and some of you're not gonna be up on this, but I'm up on this is where I'm at, and that's what I like from artists. I like to hear what they're into, even if I don't understand it. If they're into it 100%, it's fascinating to me. It's like, oh, man, okay, he on the theocratic order. What's that? Oh, you got some different concepts you're talking about. Most people are not really talking about, particularly not in this type of way. So I thought it was dope. Like, family name, all that. Man, I mean, we're not talking about that album. Yeah,
I
that album.
remember, I remember when I was in high school or high school age, I saw a clip or an interview with Lionel Richie, and he was saying how the Commodores were ending their set with "Jesus is Love," and he said sometimes you want to leave, we want you to leave partying, but sometimes we want you to think when you leave. I'm like, that's what Prince did. He gave you something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
mean, you don't have to agree with it, but you will think about it.
Yeah, and I love that about Prince. I feel like sometimes when he would do that, I I hate when people would be like, "Oh, he's it's kind of a naive point of view," or That's why I used to hate reading the press stuff about him back in the day. I was like, I don't really feel Prince. Like, you want him to be what you want it to be. This what he into, you. So that's why I love when he just goes all into something. Like, there's a song, something about the fish in the sea. What's that song called? It's on the Truth album. I don't need no meat and wine fish.
Oh
Like
God!
blue cheese. I just love the fact that he would sing something about that, and it was so, like, still was funky, and it's like, who's singing about stuff like this? But he's singing about stuff like this. What he's into. I love that. I love when he be just go all into something that's just not. Yeah, Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
That song
Yeah.
is dope to me. Just the way he's. It's almost like some funky folk country, funked out. And you talk about animals, man. Talk about the Animal Kingdom. I love that. You was like, who would expect him to sing that? I wouldn't, but when he does, I'm like, yo, that's dope. So I love that kind of. One of the things I love about Prince is when he just go into some stuff and it's like you said, make you think, or you didn't expect that, or something different. But just goes to show, like, he's into all kind of stuff, man. You can't just pigeonhole him into something.
And you mentioned earlier about some of the critics, wanted Prince or any artist for that matter to be what they wanted them to be. And I've noticed over the years, because I've been reading a lot of older interviews and a lot of different books,
Mm-hmm.
the level of the music criticism and critiques has come so far from back then,
Mm,
because there are more people doing it of a, here comes the D word, of a diverse background, and they're bringing their own
right.
experiences to it, because back in the day, well, Rolling Stone said X, that was it. Yeah, that's not the case
Mm,
anymore. There's a lot more thought and contemplation done in music criticism, and I like it. Says a lot.
I agree. Yes, yes. All right. Um, what are we seeing here? Yeah, he's talking about dolphins. Um, what was the controversy with the Rainbow Children? Um, I would say, and I'm sure people in the chat will give you different. I think the main controversy was the Jehovah Witness themes. the, religious themes in the music. I think some people had an issue with that. Some people had an issue with the this is the sound. He did this effect on his voice.
Dirty album.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think it. Maybe it doesn't. I don't have it on here. But yeah, there was a lot of controversy about the voice. Saying
Oh, nice. That was cool.
God and His law, the rainbow. But so there was some talk, but to me, but it was a concept album.
Oh, clearly.
It's dope. Like, what did you want him to just play it straight? Like, this is Prince we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, go listen to Dirty Mind or Love Sexy or Controversy. Yeah, he'd be on some other stuff. Like, he gonna bring it to you. You know what I'm saying? And he brought it. So I think so. There was a little bit of the controversy, but I thought it was badass, and it also ushered in another level of musicianship uh, and performance. Like when you see that band and how they presented it, that was on some other stuff, man. It was like leveled up in a major way. Uh,
That was a world-class band, too.
yeah, man, they was on that recording of that is on another level from what it had been. It was like, this is Prince. Like, anyway, we go on all day about that. It says the African Asiatic spiritual theme in Rainbow Tribute was given so much knowledge. Yes, it was, man. Yeah, yeah. The banished ones. Yeah, go listen to that album if you haven't already. It's a great piece of work.
I'm going to fire that up today, actually.
Yeah, man. All right. Also going on together, celebrating Prince's life and the music that inspired him. This is the Michael Bland Sunny T event you've been hearing about. That's coming up soon, Saturday, April 20th. Yeah, that sounds like that's gonna be dope. Woo. So if you're going to that, man, I say salute to you.
Yes.
Great. Also salute to our brother Law. He's got a performance coming up. Tickets are on sale as we speak. Thursday, April 11th, Triad Theater. It's a Prince tribute show up in New York. This is the day before D'Angelo's event. So salute to Law. Get your tickets. I know he's gonna do his thing on that one. That should be amazing. All right. And of course, Erotic City 40. Talking about Purple Rain. Talking about Apollonia 6. Ice Cream Castle. Sheila E. the Glamorous Life. It's going down in person April 12th to the 14th, NYC. So you already know about that. Get plugged in. And then, of course, the celebration from the Prince Estate is June 20th to 24th. Apparently, they may be talking about Purple Rain. What you think?
You think?
But no other details as of yet. But time is ticking, so I'm sure they'll be releasing something about that soon. And of course, Come 30 virtual symposium, August 10th through 11th. So that should be very exciting. Can't wait to get more info on that. And then you can also check out the past Diamonds and Pearls virtual symposium, after salons, as they call it, 5 consecutive days from October 24. You can always catch that. And of course, there is the the playlist that D'Angelo puts together for every show. So you can definitely go and hear a lot of the songs that we talked about today. Of course, the Paisley Park instrumental is up there, so you can go listen to that. When Doves Cry. So definitely get plugged in on that. I'll see if she can add the Paisley brothers, that we saw earlier in the show. You feel me? And of course, here is the schedule, the book Club. So we always invite you guys every Saturday to join us live and be a part of it in person. Of course, if you can't watch it live, you can always watch it at your leisure when you're ready. And stay. What's up, Tanya? We see you. We see you. We getting ready to wrap. We're getting ready to wrap it up. But man, big sexy sir, thank you so much for joining me today. We want to say hello and salute to D'Angela uh, over here on the West Coast. I'm not sure when her presentation is, but if she is currently doing it right now, have a great one. We love you. Be safe. Man, big sexy, happy 60th birthday.
A
Okay.
lot of trips around the sun, man. A lot of trips.
Man, well, hey, hopefully you have another 60. You want to do another 60?
I don't know if I want to do another 60.
Hilarious. Well, man, again, happy birthday. I got to get out of here because I'm about to be like coughing crazy.
Yeah, don't do that.
Thank you,
Don't do
thank
that.
you guys for joining me this morning. Have a great rest of your weekend. And as I always say, work it like a job. We will see you next time. Peace.